So hello everyone and welcome along to this live webinar. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more relevant content. And today's agenda, the main topic is cash flow. So we'll show you how you can use Lendlord in order to manage your income, expense, transactions, and keep track on your property cash flow on an ongoing basis, including rent collection and automation of the rental collection and more. We will start with, I will start with a brief overview about the platform, and then I will show you how you can set up new property and tenancy details, how you define your payment schedule, then how you deal with your cash flow history. Then we'll do a quick overview of how you can link your bank accounts and start allocating transactions automatically. And then we'll show you how you can split transactions or manage overpayments. And then we'll show you how you can categorize each transaction and eventually how to review your profit and loss statement and also export the data and export reports. And in the end, we will have questions and answers session. If you have questions, feel free to put them on the chat. And before we start, I will say that we are now running a promotion for our premium plan. Our premium plan will allow you to do more with Lendlord. So basically, with our premium plan, you can link unlimited bank accounts, and I will show you just in a sec. And you can perform postcode searches and property value estimations. Basically, here is the current list of features. It's £99 per year, and usually it's 30-day free trial. And by the end of the month, we are running a campaign, a promotion to get the premium plan with 60-day free trial. You will need to put your credit card, but there is no charge, and you can cancel at any time, but then you can use it and see if you need those features. And if so, you can continue with the subscription. So Sarel will put the coupon code on the chat. Sarel, if you can also put the link to the premium window. And if you are new to Lendlord and you haven't created your account yet, at some point, Israel will put also a link to sign up to the platform and get your 60-day free trial. So let's start with the first topic. You know what, before, let me just do the overview of the platform. So Lendlord, basically, we have three main sections. The first one is invest. In the invest part of the platform, you will be able to source properties. So we have properties from agents, from auction houses, property lists. You can actually find properties based on postcode and radius and based on a category. One of the categories repossessed properties. And you can also perform sourcing alerts on our premium plan. And when you perform sourcing alerts, then you can, Sorry, just tell me if you see the screen, because just I'm not sure that I share the right screen.
Yeah. The sourcing alerts now.
Amazing. Okay. So with the sourcing alerts, you can receive alerts on price increase, price decrease, auction date reminders. And also, if you have new properties that upload into the platform from agents or auction houses, you can get alerts based on a criteria that you define here. The other section of the invest part of the platform is the deal analyzer. We will do a webinar on the deal analyzer, hopefully in the next few weeks. But the deal analyzer will allow you to analyze any deal to see if the numbers stack up. And you can also put some long-term assumptions to see and run different scenarios, worst case scenario, best case scenario. You can also obtain market data on any postcode. And you can also generate prospect report. And under the premium plan, you can also get a PDF version of the report, and you can share the analysis with others. And this is the invest part. The manage part, this basically will be explained in the webinar, but in general, this is the place to manage and track your existing portfolio data, due date documents, and more. My documents, by the way, is very useful page, which you can upload documents to each property. You can upload property to a common level, and you can also upload documents to each owner. So, and also get notification if a document is expired. And if you use the packages feature, you can share packages with third parties. So you just need to select the property, the documents that you want to share, and the platform will create a package for you, which you can send to the third party. You just need to decide the length that the link will be available for the one that you send the report to. So my documents, you have like 5 documents for free in the basic plan, but if you want unlimited documents, you need to upgrade to the premium plan. And the third area of the platform is the finance side. And here, basically, we provide bridging finance. We act as a lender. So there are no brokers involved. And you can generate indicative terms if you answer few questions, and then the team will take the process further with you. In the mortgage remortgage section, you can find results from mortgage lenders based on the data that you hold on my portfolio. And here we have the ability to submit an application for mortgage remortgage in a digital way. So you just need to answer some questions, and our team will be in touch to provide you with the mortgage illustration. You will see the mortgage illustration online, and then you can decide if to proceed or not. So these are like the 3 main areas. And now let's start with the agenda for this webinar. At some point, Sarel can put the links to apply for a mortgage or for bridging, and to schedule calls with our team if needed. Okay, so how to set up property and tenancy details. So for sake of this example, let's create a new account. Okay, so I'm creating now a new account in our test environment. And the first thing I will do is I will go to my portfolio from the manage section, and I click add my first property. So as you can see, the edit property, add property window, you also have many sections of details you can put on each property. The good thing is that there are no mandatory fields, so you can just start with typing some of the information, and then you can tweak and add more data afterwards. And if you maintain a spreadsheet, you can also use, you can click add property, upload portfolio CSV. So you just need to convert your spreadsheet to a CSV format. Make sure that you answer basically all the instructions here. You upload the file, then you will need to map your fields to the platform fields, and then in one click we can upload all your properties to the platform. But for this example, we'll do it like manually one by one, but we'll do only one for this example. So you start with typing the address, just pick random address. If the property is currently tenanted, let's say yes, you can add some notes. the property purchase price, and the current property value, the purchase date, let's say beginning of the year, and the monthly rent. Then you can decide on the ownership. So we support many ownerships, can be company, limited company ownership, or private ownership. And we support more than one owner. So let's say that Ben owns 50%, and then I can create another owner. And she will own 50% of this property. And this is very relevant in terms of cash flow and performance tracking. And if you want to see the equity level of each owner, it's very easy after that to filter it out and see each owner, the level of equity and the amount of, let's say in the P&L of profit that basically allocated to this owner, etc. Then the mortgage information. Start with the lender, the start date of the mortgage, the end date, the mortgage balance, say 300. What is the current mortgage balance? The mortgage type, it's interest only or not. What is the current rate? And the expiry date. The expiry date is important, and any date that you will put when you edit a property can be the landlord insurance end date, the gas safety certificate due date, the EPC due date, electrical check, PAT testing, all of this. When you put a date, when you edit the property, the platform will create an alert for you with a reminder about this event. So it's very important. And yeah, there are many other details that I can enter, but for this basically use case for the cash flow, I think it's enough. I click save. Then the platform will recommend me on the next step. I can either add another property or add a tenant or set up the cash flow for this property. But you can see that now the summary is now showing me the summary of the portfolio. And of course, if I add more properties, the summary will change, and I can use the filters. You can filter by owner, you can filter by ownership, and you can also select specific property. And you can also set up different views and manage the columns here. Okay, so the next step is to create a tenant and a tenancy. So I'll go to the tenant section, click my tenants. I'll click add my first tenant. So I can put some details about the tenant, the tenancy details, which property the tenancy related to. I can basically manage more than one unit to a property and more than one tenancy to a property. So I can also name the unit, the tenancy start date, and the tenancy, let's start it a bit later, June. The tenancy end date. And the rent payment, let's say that this tenant needs to pay only 500, just for the example. I have more tenants, more units on this property. The frequency, monthly, I can decide which frequency I want. The starting, the first payment date, it's a rolling tenancy or not. And also I can set up a rent review reminder here. I can also put some security details about the guarantor, deposit, etc. Now I click save. When I click save, the platform will create for me the payment schedule for this tenant. If I'm not happy with this payment schedule, I can click edit and change the date or anything else. And if I'm happy, I can either approve it, or I can approve it and invite the tenant as well to his own tenant's dashboard. When I invite a tenant, I can upload some documents for the tenant. It will be the welcome pack, the AST agreement, which I can generate using Lendlord. I will show you in a sec. Inventory report, right to rent. Basically, in terms of compliance, you have to share some documents with your tenant. So this is a great way to do it. So in few clicks, you upload all the documents, you click continue, and you send the invitation to your tenant. Then the tenant will receive an email to sign up to a different dashboard. And there we will see all the documents, we will see the payment schedule, and you will also be able to report maintenance issues that you will get alerts on that as well. Okay, just to show you the tenancy agreement generation. So if you click generate AST, you select the tenant name, then you can update some details. So these are the landlord details, the tenancy details, rent review if you want to add a section for rent review. Basically, if you want to factor in a potential future increase in the agreement, if you want to add witnesses or not. And then when you click next, the platform will generate AST for you, tenancy agreement. And the nice thing here is that you click manage sections and you can edit the text and you can change the order of the sections and you can add sections. And when you add sections, the platform will keep those sections for the next time so you can decide if you want to include them or not. So if you need to generate tenancy agreement, this is a great feature. So currently you download it and send it over, or you can share it with the document that you share with your tenant. But in the future, we will allow you to send it to auto signature as well. All right, so if I go back to the agenda, I showed you how you can set up a new property and how you set up the tenancy details and create the payment schedule. If we have questions, if you have questions, feel free to put them on the chat. If not, we will continue to the next topic in the agenda. And we can answer in the end. Okay, so the next topic, how to define rent payments schedule. So basically, I already did it. So basically, when I create a new tenant, the platform will create the payment schedule for me. In order to review it, I just need to hover over the tenant name, click on the three dots, and click on, sorry, there is this icon, payment schedule, and I can see the payment schedule for this tenant. So everything is set up. Let's go to the next topic. How to set up my cash flow history. All right, so in the cash flow section, you have several tabs. The transactions tab, this is the place to link your bank account, and then basically to start with, the platform will retrieve the transactions from your bank account every 24 hours, and then you can just allocate them, or you can apply some rules so they will be automatically allocated to the relevant property, and if it's a rent payment, to the relevant payment, etc. But if you don't link your bank account, you can add a transaction manually. All right, just click save here, and then you can allocate it to the relevant property, or you can also import a file of transactions. So let's say you export them from your bank account and upload them. The best practice is to link your bank account, and I will show you how to do it in a sec. If you go to the profit and loss page, this is the place to review your income and expenses over time in a visual way, I would say. So the first point, a pop-up will ask you to set up your cash flow management method and history. And there are like several options, either to link your bank account or to link Xero if you use Xero as your accounting software. Or you can define recurring income and expenses. The best practice would be to go to the transactions page, link your bank account, retrieve all the historical transactions, let's say for the last financial year, or import a file for the entire history and start allocating the transactions. For this example, I will link my bank account, and now I will show you how you can link your bank account to Lendlord.
Aviram?
Yeah.
There is one question. If Mark is asking, when you have a rent increase, is there an alternative way other than going into editing the tenant profile?
So when you have rent increase, I don't think there is a better way. I think the best way, you have to go to the tenancy for my tenants, from the my tenants page. And the platform basically support it. So if you change the rental income, it will basically ask you from what date you want to change it. So basically, you just need to change the rent here, click save, and then platform will take off the payment schedule for you. You can do it right now. So let's say I change it to 600. When I click save, yeah, the network is not so great, so it takes time. But as you see, the platform basically saw that you asked to change the rent payment. So you need just to specify the date that you have changed. So let's say that I decided to change the rent payment starting 1st of October. When I click update, and then I go to the payment schedule, you should see, okay, it takes time. We need to do a loader, but now you would need to see, one second. That it has changed now to October, since October. So basically, the rent payment went up because you changed the payment and you selected the date you wanted the payment to be changed. So this is the best practice, how to apply rent increase to an existing tenancy. All right. Let's continue to the next topic. So how to link my bank account to Lendlord, okay? So I will go again to the transactions page. And here I will click link account. So this is part of our premium plan, which you can get 60-day free trial if you use the coupon that you have on the chat. So you need to decide which plan you want to use. This is a test environment, don't worry, not my credit card details. So I'm starting my free trial now. Then I click link bank account, and I will be redirected to Plaid. Plaid is our provider. Plaid is an FCA regulated provider for the open banking, and Lendlord is approved by the FCA to be agent of Plaid. Everything is secured. We don't have any access to your bank credentials. We just get read-only access to retrieve your transactions to the platform. You click continue, allow, then you just need to find your bank, and the platform will redirect you to your bank account website to put your credentials. And again, this is a test environment. Don't worry, it's not my real account. Then after you connect your bank account, the platform will ask you to retrieve your initial transaction. So here you can retrieve historically, I think, 2 years of transactions, but I would say start month by month. So if you want, start from April 2023, so retrieve transactions from April 2023, or just the last month. And then you will have a button on the transactions page to retrieve transactions, so you can decide from which day to which date. And then you can do it like in batch to allocate all the historical transactions. It takes time, but you do it only once. And then starting this point, you just need to log into your platform. You will see a pop-up with all the new transactions and allocate them. So for this example, let's retrieve transactions from 1st of September, let's say. And the platform now will retrieve the transactions. This is a test environment. Because of that, everything is a bit slower than the production environment. Okay, so I retrieved 11 transactions. And this pop-up basically will show up every time you log into the platform if the platform retrieves new transactions. You can ignore the transactions descriptions. It's a test account, as I mentioned. Okay, so this is a new expense. I need just to allocate it to the relevant property and then select the category. Okay, I can change the categories and I can add more categories. And then I click allocate. When I click allocate, it will retrieve the next one. I just need to select the property and the category. Or I can, if I don't want to allocate it now, I click handle it later from the transactions page. Okay, now I received a new income. Let's say that this is my rent. Okay. So here I will select the property and I will need to select the payment. So let's say that this is the payment of September for this tenant. I click allocate. Let's close it for now. So I allocated the 3 transactions. And when I allocate the rent, if I go now to the payment schedule screen, and I will go to September, I can see that this rent has been tracked. Okay. So basically, I can track my rent collection by that. And also on the profit and loss page, you can see that I already have some income in September and expenses. This is for the entire portfolio because I have only one property, but you can use the filters to see specific property or for specific owner. By the way, if I want to see just my share in the equity, I can just show values by, and then because I own only 50%, I will see the number. All right, now if I want to apply rules, by the way, new transactions pop up. This is something that you will see every time that you log in and there are new transactions, so you will not miss a transaction and allocate it. And the nice thing with the automation of the transactions allocation is that you can decide if it's only one-time payment or recurring transaction. So if you mark it as a recurring transaction, The next time the platform will identify a transaction with a similarity algorithm to the description and to the amount, it will automatically allocate it to this property in this category. If it's income, such as rent, it will automatically allocate the rent to the property and to the tenant and to the specific payment. So if you select the recurring transaction, then basically you can automate the entire cash flow and just review it. When I click allocate, it will be allocated on the transactions page. And if I'm not happy, I can always revert and then allocate it again. So if the platform allocated automatically and I want to change something, I can revert and allocate it again. All right, so this was how you can link your bank accounts. If we have questions, let's answer now. Are you still working with Anti to deliver HMRC year and tax reporting together? So yeah, it's a good idea if we can do like a webinar on how you can file your tax return. So let's plan something ahead for the next webinars, Sorel. And let's continue to the next topic in the agenda, how to manage transactions in terms of, let's take the example, how to split transaction. So I think the most common use case will be that you use a property manager and you receive the net amount that includes also the fees for the property manager. But on Lendlord, you want it to be allocated as two transactions. One is the rent and the second one is the management fee. So for this example, I will add the transaction manually. So let's say that on the 6th of October, I received an income of 500 pounds. Okay, so if I, sorry, I will put the amount here. All right, so this is the income, and if I link my bank account, I will see just it. I will see it like this. But the 500 pounds is actually the rent minus the arrangement, the management fee. So I click on this icon, split transaction. Okay, and I will allocate it 600 as the rent. I will select the property and basically I will allocate it to the October payment. All right, and then the second transaction will be an expense, and this will be the management fee for the same property, and this will be 100 pounds. All right, so basically I took the 500 pound transaction and I split it into two transactions, one income of 600 and the other one is expense of 100. I click split. And then I will see here that I have 600 income, 100 management fee. The only thing that I need to do is to click on this icon to allocate and track it on my P&L and payment schedule. All right, now if I go to the payment schedule, I will see that the rent for this month, October, was paid, 600 pounds, was in 5 days overdue, but still was paid. And then if I go to the profit and loss page, I can see 600 pounds income for my rent and 100 pounds for the management fee. And there is another transaction here. If I want to see the transactions, I can click on the box of monthly expenses, click edit, and I can see it on the right side. All right, so this is how you can split transactions. The next topic, how to set up expense and income categories, basically how to manage your categories. So when you allocate a transaction, the platform will basically provide you with a list of categories, predefined categories, but you don't have to use them. Okay, so if you want to change, so click on the edit icon, okay, this one, and you can change the name of the category and you can change the color. You can also delete the category if you are not interested in using this category. And you can also click on the plus icon to create a new category. So basically, you can adjust the entire list to your own needs based on your accountant instructions or the way you want to see. So this is the way you can add category, edit category, or delete. And then on the reports, you know what, let's go to the expenses breakdown report. So here you can see the breakdown per category of your expenses, and also you have income breakdown for your income. And you can change the category also from here. And of course, if you have many transactions, you can select just the category to see all the transactions in this category. So this was how you can set up and change your categories. Okay, we have a question. Can you have parent and child categories? It's a good suggestion. We currently don't support it. Basically, you mean like to package several categories in a parent category. It's interesting. So let's write it down as a suggestion for a new enhancement. And the next topic is how to review my profit and loss statement. So basically, you have two options. One, in the profit and loss, you can see it in a visual way, and you can apply filters. It can be filters by property, by owner, by ownership, and you can also review the transactions. You can also use the copy expenses backwards. Okay, so let's say that I want to, this is also a way to adjust the history. So let's say the fee, and if you don't do it from the transactions, which is the best practice, you can do it from here. Let's say that the £100 fee that I pay to my managing agent was starting January 2023. I can select this expense and click copy expenses, and then the platform will create these transactions expense for me in my history on the profit and loss sheet. 1 second. As I said, it's a test environment, so it's a bit slower. Here we go. All right. We have another question. Can you get tenant signatures, e.g. for receipt of deposit, certificate, and tenant notes? So in terms of receipts, invoices, and things like that, this is a development that now in progress. So hopefully in the next few weeks, when you go to the payment schedule, for each payment row, you will see an icon to download the invoice or to send the invoice to your tenant, or if you invited your tenants to the tenants dashboard, to share the invoices with them. In terms of deposits and receipts for deposits, perhaps we should also implement it as well, but we don't have support to provide receipts for deposits. But Sarel also write it down and we can add it to the roadmap. Tenant Okay, Bhavna, you said you asked if tenant signatures. If you mean signatures for the tenancy agreement, yes, it's in the roadmap. So currently you can just download and send it over. But soon we will have also auto signatures. So we will use an API. So you sign, and the tenant will receive an email to sign automatically. So this should be as well in this quarter, hopefully. Will you add a viewer in place of always downloading documents from the transaction screen? Another good idea. So we implemented it on the My Documents. So if you go to My Documents, let's see if I have documents in this account. So basically, you just need to click and then you have a preview. All right. So you don't need to download in order to preview. And sorry, let's write it down because I think it's quite easy to implement. On the expenses breakdown, you can upload receipts, and then perhaps instead of download it, just to preview it. So basically, yes, we can add a preview to preview receipts on the expenses breakdown. Let's write it down. All right, thanks, Simon. Okay, so how to review my profit and loss statement. Go to the reports tab, and here you have the general P&L report. And here basically you can see the breakdown per category of all your income transactions. And if you want to see the transactions, that click on the link and then it will take you to see all the transactions. And then the same for the expenses. And then we calculate the estimated profit after tax, but it's just an estimation. And you can go to the tax report to see the breakdown. And of course, you can also export it as a PDF. And if you want just to download the entire data of your expenses based on your allocation, just go to the profit and loss page, click export to Excel, select the properties you want and the type of transactions you want and the period, and the platform will generate the spreadsheet for you and you can send everything to your accountant. So it's quite easy to manage. So on Lendlord, you can track the performance of each property, and all the data can be exportable and you can send it out to your accountant. All right. So yeah, so that's it. Basically, just to summarize, start with entering your property details on my portfolio page, upload all the relevant documents, create a new tenant, review the payment schedule of all of your tenants, then link your bank account, start to allocate transactions, and then you can review the P&L report on the reports tab. And last thing that I will show you is the interactive report, which is a great way to see your portfolio in a high-level overview. So here you can see the total, the equity position right now, what is the current loan to value across all of your properties, some data about the performance of the entire portfolio, and some metrics. You can see the cash and cash. You can see the top performing properties in several metrics. And you can see also the worst performing properties. You can see some insights about taxes. Those are also, again, it's like based on the platform calculations. So perhaps it's not fully 100% accurate, but to give you indication. The next reminders. And you can also go over your prospect lists here. Then you can go property by property by clicking on the picture in the background. And here, this is the chance to see, okay, I think that actually this property now worth 280. So you can track the increase of the value of the property over time. You can use our API to get estimation of the property value. With the premium plan, which you can get now for free for 2 months, You have unlimited property value estimation, and 3, I think, on the basic plan. You can see the data about this mortgage, the equity for this specific property, and the performance of this property, and also the rent of this property if you compare it to other properties in your portfolio. So this is a great way to go property by property, update some details, see the performance of this property. You know, you can make decisions based on this report to see which property is underperforming, which property is outperforming, etc. So it's a very valuable tool. And we also send an email, a weekly email with a link to this report. All in all, you know, if you keep the data on Lendlord, it's securely safe on the cloud. You can access the data from everywhere. Everything is in one place. You can track more than 150 different items on Lendlord. You can store your documents. You can track your rent collection. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up for free. If you're an existing user, try our premium plan, which will give you much more. And now if we have some questions, let's answer them. Will it calculate tax liability aligned to Section 24? Good question. So we basically designed the algorithm that calculates all the tax, the estimation tax potential payments that you need to make based on advice of accounting firm, property accounting firm. Having said that, so it takes it into account. Having said that, it's something that we recommend you to verify with your accountant. Let's see, the app is great too. Thank you very much, Simon. Can we have access to this recording? Yes, we will upload the recording of this live webinar to our YouTube channel. And again, Sarel, if you can put a link to our YouTube channel and also the link to schedule demo or to speak with our digital mortgage advisor. You know what, I will find you just like the YouTube channel. I will put the link so you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, because from time to time we put some sorry for that, new videos about new features or the recording features of the webinar. So I will put the link on the chat. 1 second.
I got it, Aviram.
Got it?
I'm the other links now. Yes.
Okay, I also put it. All right, perfect. And Sarel, if you can put all the links to schedule calls, or again, perhaps the coupon code for getting the 60-day free trial. It's available just by the end of this month. So just start your trial and see, you know, what benefit you can get. All right. So thank you very much for joining. If you have questions, you can use the chat in the app, and also suggestions for new features. Hope you will find the platform valuable. Thank you very much for joining.